the trigonometry worksheet. The function f is such that fx equals a minus b cos x for 0 to 360 degrees, where a and b are positive constants. The maximum value of fx is 10 and the minimum value of fx is minus 2. Find the values of a and b. So basically, they're telling you the maximum and the minimum value of the graph of this function, a minus b cos x. So the minimum value is minus 2 and the maximum value is 10. So then what should be the central value here? It should be the midpoint of 10 and minus 2. So 10 plus minus 2 is 8 and 8 divided by 2 is 4. So this is going to be 4. Right? Now sum of the graph would be above this, but it'll go till 4. This is not the correct graph for cos. This is definitely not the cos graph is like this. Just to give you a picture, that's not even the graph for this. Well, minus a, I'm drawing plus cos. But just to show you the magnitude, that the graph goes 6 units above and 6 units below the central line. So this value here is 6. And the graph has gone 4 units up. So you have to add 4 to your equation. So this is going to be plus 4.
Right.
So what's being added is what is related to the central line. So A is being added and the central line is at 4. So A is 4. The graph has gone 4 units up as compared to the original graph of the cos function. And then the amplitude is 6. So B will be 6. All right. Now it says solve the equation fx is equals to 0. So fx is 4 minus 6 cos x equals to 0. So we get 2 upon 3 equals cos x. Let's find the absolute angle. 0.8411. This is going to be in the cos is positive in the first quadrant and the last quadrant and the third quadrant. So this is 0.8411 and 0.8411. Oh, the question is in degrees. I'm going to lose marks here. So I'm going to go back, change my calculator settings to degrees, and I'm going to take cos inverse 2 by 3, which is 48.1. 48.2 after rounding to 1 decimal place. So one of the values of x is 48.2 and the other one is 180 plus that, which is 228.2. Oh, cos was positive in the fourth quadrant. What did I do? Add sugar to coffee. So that's a big mistake. So the second answer should be 360 minus 48.2. What is that?
311.8.
Yeah. Okay. So these are the two answers. Part 3. Sketch the graph. So to sketch the graph, I know the central value 4. 4 is here. Then I know that the graph goes till 10. And minus 2. Regular cos looks like this, but negative cos looks like this. So my graph should look like this, should. go like this. This would be 2 pi here on the 2 pi need 360 here, 180 here, and 0 here. So this should be it. This would be 90, and this would be 270. Remember, the markings that you make, the scaling that you do is on the x-axis and the y-axis, the original one, not the shifted one.
If it was minus B cos plus A, it would still look the same, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, question number 12. Sketch on the diagram the graph y is equals to sine x and y is equals to cos 2x for 0 to 180 degree. Verify that x is equals to 30 degree is the root of the equation sine x is equals to cos 2x. अच्छा नहीं पहला part तो मैंने skip कर दिया. Sketch on the same grid the graph for sine x and cos 2x. Okay. So sine x graph just between 0 to 180 looks like this. That's it. 180, half a cycle. And that's 1. And this is sine x. And now I have to plot cos 2x. Let me at the side plot cos x first. Cos x looks like this. This should be 360. But if it is cos 2x, then we need to complete 2 cycles within the same interval. So the first cycle is completed at 180. So the first cycle gets completed at 180. This would be minus. This is the graph of cos 2x. Just one cycle is shown between 0 to 180 degrees. Okay. Verify that x equals to 30 degrees is the root of this equation. So all you have to do is substitute 30 in the equation and show that the left-hand side is equals to the right-hand side. It's 2 times 30, which is 60. So you must show that sine 30 is equals to cos 60. And I think both of them equal half. No, both of them equals under root 3 over. Something is off. Sine 30. Verify that x equals to 30 is the root of the equation. Sine 30 is actually half. And cos 60 is half as well. Sorry, yes. So this is half. And this is half. So sine 30 and cos 60 give us the same answer. And state the other root of this equation. Where is half on the graph? Let me draw half here. Half would be here. So this would be 30. Yes. Okay. Find the other root. The other one should be this one. Here also, the height is half. So since it's a very symmetrical graph, we know that this is 30. So then
150?
Yes, 150. Yes. So the answer is 150 for part 2. Hence, state the set of values of x for which sine x is greater than cos 2x. Okay, I'm going to shade that part of the graph where the sine x curve becomes greater than the cos x curve. यहाँ से लेकर यहाँ तक अच्छा मैंने पर कितनी बड़ी गलती की है. It said that sine x is equals to cos 2x. So this was at the point of intersection where the two graphs are equal. So it should be here, the line should be here, and this would be half. So इसका मतलब है ग्राफ भी थोड़ा अच्छा नहीं बना. Let me try to make it again. So that is this, and the other one should be meeting here and here, exactly in between. So ऐसा ग्राफ होना चाहिए. So when the graph they meet at half on the y-axis. Okay, now let's go back to this. I'll give you a second to copy this if you need to.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to shade that part of the graph where sine x is higher than cos 2x. So it's this part. So now what are the values of x here? At the first point of intersection, the value is 30. At the other point of intersection, the value is 150. So between 30 and 150, sine x graph becomes greater than cos 2x graph. So the solution would be x is greater than 30.
That's 180, right? Not 360.
Yes, it's 180, my bad. 180. Question 30. Sketch in the single diagram the graph of y is equals to cos 2 theta and y is equals to half for 0 to 2 pi. So for 0 to 2 pi, there's going to be two cycles of cos. First cycle and then the next cycle. So since it's cos 2 theta and not just cos theta. And then I have to plot y equals half. So it's going to be here. Write down the number of roots of this equation. Now, where's this equation coming from? This equation is coming when you equate the given two equations. 2 goes to the other side, cross multiplication, and then -1 is equals to 0. So they're basically asking you to find the number of roots or the number of points of intersection of the two curves. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 solutions to this equation because both the curve and the line intersect at 4 points. So there are 4 roots. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay, now they're saying that how many solutions of the same equation exist in this interval. Now this graph keeps going on and on and on and on. So they're asking for this interval between 10 to 20 pi, how many roots exist? Let's say we have 10 here, 10 pi, and 20 pi. First, we have to figure out how many such curves would we get between 10 to 20 pi. So we know that for
It's
every 2
lagging.
pi, oh, let's just give it a minute. Is it any better now? I've connected to another router.
Yep.
Okay. Acha. So this is 0 to 2 pi, right? And it has 2 cycles in it. So how many 2 pi's do we have in the range 10 pi to 20 pi? इसमें कितने 2 pi के chunks होंगे? यहाँ होगा 1 chunk of 2 pi. That will give us 12 pi, right? Another chunk of 2 pi. Can you hear me?
Yep.
That's going to go till 14 pi. So how many 2 pi can I fit between 10 to 20 pi?
4.
2 pi, 2 pi, 2 pi, 2 pi. So 2, 2, 2, 2. That's 8. But 10 plus 8 pi is not 20 pi.
Acha, we're counting shuru. Are we
10
counting 10 as well?
No, we're not. This is 10 units, right? This is a longer domain as compared to 0 to 2 pi. So this is 10 units. But this one is just 2 units. So how many 2 units do we have in this region? We have 5 of these 2 units.
Right.
Right. So we'll have 5 of such curves between 10 pi to 2 pi. Okay, ये एक curve हो गई, 1. ये double curve एक हो गई, 1 more. And so on. There will be 5 such curves in the region, and each curve has 4 solutions, 4 points
So
of
20
intersection. Yes.
roots.
So it's going to be 4 times 5, 20 solutions. Twenty roots. Question 14. Function f is such that fx equals to this. Express fx in the form a plus b cos square x. Okay. So fx is 2 sine square x minus 3 cos square x. But I need it in the form which just has cos square. So I'm going to replace this with 1 minus cos square x. Two minus 5 cos square x. May have skipped a step. You get it?
Yep.
Okay. State the greatest and the least value of this. Okay. अब इसके लिए क्या करेंगे? That let's see what part of the graph is actually a variable. It's this part of the graph. क्योंकि cos का जो curve होता है वो कभी ऊपर जाता है कभी नीचे जाता है, right? So it's cos square x that keeps changing its value, not the 2 and not the 5.
Right.
Can you recall from the graph of cos square x that what are the extreme values of this of cos square x? Cos square x looks like a W
1,
and maximum is
0.
1, minimum is 0. Yes. So replace this 1 by 1 with 1 and 0, and that's going to give you the extreme values of fx. So when it's 1, what is fx? And when it's 0, what is fx?
It's -3 when it's 1, and then when it's 0, it's 2.
Yeah, so -3 and 2, and write less than equals to less than equal. Greatest and the least values are -3 and 2. You may just write -3 and 2. So the range
So this is basically the range, right?
yes, exactly. Solve the equation fx plus 1 equals 0. Okay, so fx is already rearranged to -5 cos square x. Add 1 to it and equate it to 0. So I'm getting 3 upon 5 equals cos square x. And then I'm taking square root of that and writing a plus minus with it. Now, let's find the alphas for both the cases. Just give me a second. Okay, so it's going to be cos alpha equals 3 upon 5. For alpha, we only consider the positive ratio. Cos inverse, are we in degrees? Nowhere in radians because it's 0 to pi. So cos inverse under root 3 by 5 is 0.685 in 3 significant figures. So for positive case, cos x is equals to under root 3 over 5. And for negative case, cos x is equals to -3 by 5. We have to plot alphas in different quadrants. Add sugar to coffee here and here. But this is out of the domain because the domain is between 0 to pi. So for fourth quadrant mein to jana hi nahi. Similarly for this one, cos is negative here and cos is negative here, but this is out of the domain. So 0.685. So one of the answers for x is 0.685 and the other answer for x would be pi minus 0.685.
Okay.
2.46. Yeah, these are the two answers.
Okay.
Let's take a look at the next question. Let's start it. You might have to finish it in the homework.
Okay.
Are you done with the question? I think so, yes. The function f, r, and g are defined by this and this. Fx is half x plus pi by 6, gx is cos x, and the domain for both of them is between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Solve the following equations. This is a merger of two chapters, trigonometry plus functions. So gfx would mean that in g, instead of its x, we substitute half x plus pi by 6. So in G, replace this x with all of fx. And this is equals to 1. Give your answer in terms of pi. Okay, so I'm going to take cos inverse 1. What is that?
It's 0, right?
Yes, it is 0.
Oh,
So I'm getting
that's-
half x plus pi by 6 equals 0. And then x would be half x equals minus pi by 6, x equals minus pi by 3. For the next part, it is f gx equals 1.
half cos x plus pi by 6.
Yes, good. Equals 1. So make cos x the subject. That's going to be minus pi by 3. Okay, I'm going to find alpha. No, it's not going to be that. It's going to be 1 minus pi by 6, and then whatever is answer times 2. So cos x equals 1 minus fraction pi by 6. Oops. Pi by 6, answer times 2. I'm getting 0.9528. So alpha would be cos inverse answer, which is 0.30845. Cos is positive in the first quadrant, add sugar to coffee last quadrant. So it's 0.30845 and 0.30845. Okay, but now let's review the domain. The domain is between, sorry, कुछ कह रही हूँ?
नहीं, यही कह रही थी.
Yes. The domain is between pi by 2 and minus pi by 2. Pi by 2 is actually 90. So you're supposed to give your answer from here till here. So you have to also consider the negative answer. So one of the answers is x equals 0.3. We have to give it in 2 decimal place. So this is the answer. And the other one is negative 0.31. These are the answers. Okay, so the homework for tomorrow is 16 to 20.
Okay.
All right, take care. See you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Love
I love this.